Hi there, Lee Farnell here from Leading Your Best Life, and today I want to talk to you about an interaction I had today on International Men's Day. We'd been talking about mental health and leadership and life and men, and this was what came up, and it's a super important topic for men. Well, guys in particular, I'm sure women can listen to this, of course, but guys in particular, this might resonate and hit home. But as I was leaving the International Men's Day breakfast, Paul Litvin and the guys at Men's Talk, or the team at Men's Talk, put it together. One of the key themes, of course, of men's health is men's mental health and men's suicide. And what we know is that 3/4 of the suicide, more than 75%, are of men. And one of the guys there talked about the age group that in particular scores highest in this area, around 42, age 42. You go, what is going on in men's lives at around age 42? There's all sorts of pressures when you think about it. Let's assume they've got married close to 30. They've got kids. They've got kids that are probably teenagers or just before teenagers. They're at a stage in their career where they're maybe on the ladder on the way up, or they're not on the ladder on the way up. But you can be pretty certain there's maximum pressure around that time, in that the kids, teenagers are evolving. You've been with your wife or partner for, let's say, 12 or 15 years. There could be financial issues. And as I was walking out of the breakfast, not only did I bump into Alex Pearce, who's the captain of the Fremantle Dockers, and he'd talked about his mind and managing mindset and mental health and so on, and we had to talk about some of the work I'd done with various sporting teams in terms of mindset and mental health, not only mental health, but high performance, visualization, the power of meditation, Dusty Martin and Paul Roos and Brett Kirk and a whole range of people who've used very successfully the power of the mind and ancient Indian principles. So I was feeling pretty good about myself and going, well, that was a really good discussion. My mate Peter Simons, has written a book on, he calls it Brain Fuel Depletion. It's a fantastic book. I was walking along and I saw a guy who waved at me, and I went, do I know that guy? But where do I know him from? And I said, you talking to me? He goes, yeah, how you going? I haven't seen you for a long time. And it was a guy who had been to our Lifter business networking group, and he talked about this coaching business, which at the time I thought, that's a very vague offer he's making. And not only is it vague, it's way out of the box. And so I talked to him. The first question I already asked him, how you going? Good, yeah, okay. But how's business? Well, actually, it's not going that well. Oh, really? What's happened? Well, mate, the fact is, it hasn't been as successful as I wanted. I've persevered for like 2 years. Nothing's happened. Now, this guy has a background in business, in fact, accounting, but accounting is a different business than coaching. And not only that, even worse, he said, and in fact, my wife and I are splitting up. I said, oh, really? That's pretty heavy. I said, so have you moved out of the house? No, I can't afford to move out of the house. I said, you got kids? I've got 2 kids. What are they? I think they're early teenage years. So you can think, maximum stress, the exact situation is probably late 30s, mid to late 30s, maybe even early 40s. So in the exact same situation, there was a case study. He's about to go through the whole marriage breakup thing. And I said, well, if money's the issue, what would happen if you got a job and got an income? He goes, well, I'm actually trying to do that right now. I said, do you think you and your wife could maybe work it out and get back together? He goes, no, I think we've just triggered each other way too many times now. We're now gone too far and we'll need to break up. And I thought, oh boy, this is exactly what one of the guys in the room was talking about, that the number one cause, and again, this, I don't have the data in front of me, but the number one cause, this fellow said, that was on my table, was not only the breakup of families, but then what can happen is that the guy doesn't get access to the children. Now, we've certainly had this happen in our Blokes Talk Beachside situation, where there's been a guy who's literally, his wife's got a court order where he hasn't seen his kids for 4 years. He's going through absolute trauma. And again, I can Google this at some other point, but what's the point? The point is this. One of my cynical mates said a long time ago, which I scoffed at him at the time, but let me tell you what my cynical mate, who happens to have a very big house and a lot of money, said. When money walks out the door, love soon follows. When money walks out the door, love soon follows. Now, you tell me if you agree with that or not, but when money walks out the door, it certainly affects the stability of the relationship. And in fact, one of the people I follow on Facebook and Instagram is a guy by the name of Mark Singh. So I'm going to search it on the internet now. Mark Singh, he's a coach, he's a dating coach, and he says some pretty outrageous, Mark Singh, I'm not sure that's how you spell it, dating coach. He says some pretty amazing things. Mark Singh, dating coach. And he talks about alpha male and beta male and females. And he said, it certainly upsets some of the females of but he talks about the fact that women do want a guy that's stable, emotionally stable, financially stable, has a vision for their life. The woman doesn't necessarily need to be financially supported, but wants to know that the guy has got his act together, that she's not actually going to have to mother the kid, that in fact he can possibly be a partner survivor. He talks about alpha male and beta male, which sometimes it's really, it's really big. Well, there's a whole range of things that this guy says which will be probably affronting to some people, his Unapologetic Male podcast. But it's just pretty interesting that this guy has had a situation where money's gone out the door, or more to the point, money hasn't come in the door, and eventually his wife said, enough is enough, I'm not putting up with this bullshit. And now he's going through this breakup. And of course, that's going to put incredible stress on him, his wife, the children. And you go, how can that have been prevented? How could that have been prevented? Well, one might be, should he have got some coaching? As my good mate Mel Emery said at one stage, somebody sometimes has to tell you that your baby is ugly, that your business idea is ugly. What's the marketplace telling you? If you're not generating revenue, then what's it telling you? It says either the idea is bad or you don't have the skills to actually market. You're not actually investing in yourself, which again Mark Singh talks about. Are you investing in yourself to upgrade your skills? One of the programs that I've been looking at lately, a guy called Alex Hormozi, and he talks about having $100 million worth of company and his lead generation book, and his offers. I mean, it's fantastic and instructive. And of course, it's not just about reading the book, it's putting into practice. What ideas have you put into practice? Ideas that are just information have to be implemented. There's going to be knowledge in action that makes all the difference. So here's this guy. Right now, the knowledge in action has got to be, he's got to get an income. He's got to go get a job. And if he's going to start his business, he needs to then go back and invest in himself. And of course, the cost of the breakup will be huge. Emotional cost, energetic cost to the kids, and financial cost will be huge. I hope it's not irreparable. I hope that, as my marriage counsellor friend Donatus McKelker said, if it's got life in it, let's breathe life into it. Rather, if it's dead, bury it. But life is like a mirror, isn't it? Life is like a mirror. These things are sent to test us, to say, what do you still need to learn? What do you still need to learn and grow and evolve from? Again, with this fellow, no matter what he's going through, I'd be recommending meditation and yoga, because his fight or flight response, his sympathetic nervous system will be ticking over way faster than it needs to, and he'll need to meditate, calm down, get coaching, get counselling, and with a bit of luck, repair. I said I'd touch base with him. But here we are on International Men's Day, dealing with a real men's issue. Who am I as a man? What's my role as a man, particularly once I have a family? And what's my role in regard to providing and supporting for my wife and my family? And then when that goes sour, do I cut and run? Do I listen to her feedback? I mean, certainly a discussion I've had with people in recent times of one of my highly successful husband-wife combinations was, if the wife was not happy with the issue or the decision at the time, she had the right of veto. That is, that as a husband, as you said, we're a partnership, and both parties have the right of veto. If neither party are happy with the idea or the decision or the investment, we don't make it. I think that's a very healthy code or agreement to have. Another fellow had said to me at one stage, I, like a business, every 90 days I would report to my wife about our financial situation, our superannuation, our bank balance, our investments, my income, and just like a board or just like a CEO has to report to a board, there'd be a board meeting where we'd have a financial board meeting and we would make decisions, and she would have the right of veto. That is, it's a equal partnership versus I'm the man, I make all the decisions, you as a woman don't make the decisions. I mean, what would you know anyway? I mean, that's probably 10th century or 6th century, or even you go back on that Empire podcast, there are female empresses back in the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th century that had incredible power. So like the Chinese say, man who let wife look after money, become wealthy man. Interesting. What does this mean as a man? What does this mean for you as a man? How can you learn from this? What insights is this? What are the points I'm making here that resonate for you? I'm still working all through this myself, but to see this guy today, we say life is very much like a mirror. When you see someone and they're going through the same thing you are going through or have gone through, or it's like, wow, what's the universe teaching me today on International Men's Day? It is certainly, as the posters say, boys need men, girls need men around them. Male energy and female energy is needed versus just one or the other. That balance. Hope this helps. It's Lee Farnell, still evolving, still learning, still looking to be the best I can be, and at the same time helping as many others that I can help. Have a good day, and I'll see you next episode. Thanks for listening.